Right. Let's take a look at the chat. I need to find it first. Sooner I find it, the better. There we are, I found it. Awesome. Alright, so, hey everyone, it's Spurs Rail here, and welcome to today's live stream, wherever you are around the world. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Today on a different game for a change, a blast from the past. Train Sim World 2020 has returned from the dead to be featured in a couple of streams on the channel. And I'm taking a look at a route that is, I suppose, been long forgotten in time, but I'm sure a lot of people, myself included, would like to see return to the franchise, and that is Northeast Corridor, New York. Speaks for itself. It says in the top right, or near the top right, you can see me moving around there with my with the analog stick. Northeast Corridor New York brings to life the experiences and challenges of passenger and freight railroading on America's busiest and fastest railroad. Climb aboard the state-of-the-art Amtrak ACS-64 electric locomotive and the CSX GP38-2 diesel electric locomotive to transport passengers and freight in and around the New York City. I've also got the DLC as well, so I think we're going to take a ride on the Amtrak ACS-64, and I think a spring clear day will do the job very nicely indeed. You've got quite a variety of services here, actually, but which one will I pick? A fun fact, actually, this, which has 186 services, is I think this entire timetable package of Northeast Corridor New York, this I think has more services than the other Northeast Corridor, which is rather interesting. Let's do not too early in the morning. Something like 9:20 maybe, or that one. Yeah, here we go. We'll do this one, the 9:15 a.m. Northeast Regional Service from the Newark Liberty International Airport to New Rochelle. Be aware of the extended layover at New York Penn Station. Right, let's take a look at the chat. I'll say my hellos to Liam, Thierry, the Polish kid, E60 Guy 101. Hope you're all well. I'm certainly feeling good today. Not only because I'm looking at a route from the distant past, but also because Tottenham Hotspur managed to win today's game against Leicester City. But I think the first thing that shocked me when getting back into Train Sim World 2020 is the graphics. You compare it to Train Sim World 2, it's night and day, really. For some reason the indicator's not coming up every time I point my cursor over a switch. It may be a glitch. Let me just start again, maybe. I suppose the game wasn't happy with me then. And the music is nice. It is indeed E60 Guy 101. What routes should I go on and what loco should I use? Depends what collection you have, E60 Guy. No, it's still not happy, is it? I wonder if there's something in the settings. button prompts. That might be it. There we go, that's it. Right, the brake mode is in passenger. Reduce the brakes. Put the ditch lights to on. Put the headlights on to bright. Reverser to the forward position. Have all the lights on, have the cab light off. Do I need HPA on? Yes, I do actually. Hold it in the start position for 5 seconds. Hopefully that will do something. That's to turn on the lights for the passengers in the passenger car compartments. Okay, so here we are at Newark Liberty International Airport. I know, it doesn't look like much of an airport, albeit you can see the control tower there in the distance. Yeah, Northeast Corridor, New York. Man, oh man, would I like to see this route return. These are the coaches we have, Amtrak and Fleet 1 coaches. We got majority of business class. The food service car. And the normal coach class. Does this one have a cab car in the back? No, it does not. Now, I know the safety systems, I know people tend to criticise me for not using the safety systems or all of them at the same time. This actually is broken, the safety systems on this route, and of course it's never going to get patched, is it? So, but the alerter does work, so I can use that. Let's increase the power and set off. Let's increase the power to maximum. Now, this line actually runs along some fairly familiar areas, such as the Long Island Railroad, and on Train Simulator, this part of the line here runs along or is very close to the New Jersey coastal route. Whoop, better get within the speed. Better slow down a bit. Yeah, this route was released in roughly the summertime of 2018, if I remember correctly. Firstly for the PC, and then came as standard for Train Sim World on the consoles. It also had an additional pack which had the Amtrak shunter and a cab car. And earlier on, actually, in the Northeast Corridor, New York's life cycle, it didn't have any freight services at all, which was later added through quite a big update to the route, and certainly made the package or this route feel more complete. I mean, you've got non-stop, you've got pretty much high-speed Northeast regional services, you've got some passenger services with the cab car, you've got some yard duties, of course, with the Amtrak shunter, and quite a decent, I think, freight package with the GP38-2. Hopefully we could see some sort of a freight package on the Northeast Corridor Boston Sprinter, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Hope everyone's had a good week and a good weekend. In the UK at the moment, it's a bit of a miserable Sunday for me because the weather is appalling outside. Just rain, rain, and yes, rain. But anyway, we're approaching the first stop, Newark Penn. I do apologise if I pronounce the station names incorrectly, and just as we're coming into the platform, so is another service on the left. Whoops, stopped a little bit too early there. Underestimated the power of the brakes. That will do the job. Nicely, look at that. That'll do. Let's unlock the doors and allow the passenger boarding procedures to commence. Oh dear, the camera's a bit stuck in, I don't know, in the station roof or something. This service here, I presume, is another North East Regional, unless it's got a cab car sticking on the back of it. I cannot tell. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coaches as well. Right, let me take a look at the chat while we're stopped at Newark Penn. Liam, well, funny story. Me and my dad were both happy with the football, with his team being West Ham and Spurs winning as well. Well, I'm sure your dad is. Oh, your dad is Arsenal. Okay, right, that explains it. Okay, I was going to say, if your dad was a West Ham supporter, I imagine he wouldn't be quite happy because they lost. I desperately wanted West Ham to win today, but never mind. That's the way it goes. No, we can't go yet. The brakes are not completely released. Surprise, surprise. The next stop is Secaucus Junction. Just over 5 miles away. Didn't expect that. It usually say in the timetable selection menu that you're making an additional stop either at Secaucus or New York Penn, but obviously we're stopping at Secaucus. That's a nice surprise. Thierry, it's been cloudy but dry here. Oh, lucky you. E60 guy, of all the DLCs except the Harlem line, so you can pick from any route and loco for me. I think you should play oh, it's hard now, isn't there? There's so many. Oh, screw it. I think you should play Cane Creek. Just thought of a bit random. Or Sherman Hill. Pick a US heavy freight route or something. Or Peninsula Corridor. Oh yeah, play Peninsula Corridor. That's a good one. That's a nice route. Just wondering, did I turn the alerter on? I can't quite remember, can I? I shouldn't be doing this, but I am. The alerter is turned on. I thought it'd be making noises by now, but obviously not. Not yet anyway. Here's another train, and that's the cab car. I think the cab car has 13 services and the Amtrak shunter has 4. If I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong, but I think the number was roughly that. I know the shunter's definitely 4. Liam, it's still dry where I live. Dry all day. Oh, lovely. Very nice. Jerry just brought LG Mediterranean 55% off. Wow. That's a good bargain. What a deal that is. I bought myself a Galaxy. Gotta love a Galaxy, so I'm going to tuck into that. Lovely. The speed limit will increase to 90 miles per hour. It's not the fastest part of the Northeast Corridor. I'd say the average speed is probably 60 odd miles per hour really. I think towards the end of the route, once you've got out of New York Penn and on a bit of clear air, so to speak, between New York Penn and New Rochelle, speed limit I think goes a little bit faster, maybe just touching 100 miles per hour, I think. Yeah, but just looking at the game now from the TV, where I'm sat, the graphics, yeah, it's night and day really compared to Train Sim World 2. But I think the presentation of the menu in 2020 compared to Train Sim World 2 is much better in my opinion. A bit more colourful and obviously the music as well. I mean, I think this is the only video game I've played, be it on a PlayStation or an Xbox or a phone or a tablet, you name it, that hasn't got music. I'm sure a few people would like to see a new soundtrack in, I don't know, the next Train Sim World game, or if Train Sim World 2 was to have another big update in the summer. Let's put the power down to maximum. Speed limit has increased again to 90. It will then decrease. Well, we do need to decrease actually, because I've just noticed Secaucus. Time to get on the brakes. Approaching Secaucus. Here we are at Secaucus. That's the exterior of Secaucus. Pretty big station. Yeah, you can tell that the scenery does need a lot of, if it was to come back to Train Sim World, in either Train Sim World 2 or the next Train Sim World game, whatever, the scenery will need a big improvement. Big improvement. Let's see if I can find a train. Obviously, as we're outside, not in. Oh, this is a... Is it a 2-tier platform? Oh, of course it is. Here goes a train with the cab car, thundering through Secaucus. New York and outbound. Right, the next stop is New York Penn, just over 4 miles away. I was about to say free, but of course it isn't. E60 Guy 101, the Northeast Corridor New York was the first route I ever went on with the GP40 as my first live. Wow. Your first route. Wow. This is, I'm sure, a blast from the past for you as well. Thierry, oh, PlayStation Plus, I see. Also thinking of getting Cathcart Circle, but not sure yet. Ah, right, I see. Cathcart is not a bad route, to be fair. It's quite a busy little compact route. It doesn't add many additional services, mind you, with the existing British collection, but I mean, if you like the area of Glasgow and passenger services, then I think Glasgow's a pretty decent little package. And the 314 is well, pretty much identical really to the 313 of Brighton. It's just I'm sure just some slight modifications to the exterior, the interior, and of course the livery change as well. Here we go, into the tunnels, and we're diving into the darkness under New York City. Very nice. Can't beat a Galaxy. Actually, you can with a Lindor chocolate. Lindor's gorgeous. E60 guy is driving the MP36PH-3C, the baby bullet. Awesome. It's a good locomotive, that. Thierry, I keep forgetting how good the 465 brakes are and keep braking too early. Yeah, they are pretty good. Even though you don't get much feedback from the controllers and so on and so forth, like acceleration or retraction or braking performance, you can see it at the braking characteristics of some of these locomotives in the game, be it diesel, electric, multiple units, whatever. You do notice that some are better at braking than others, be that due to the weight or how long the train is and all that kind of stuff, and on the route and the gradient, weather conditions, etc. Polish kid really like this countryside. Yeah, it's interesting. Quite a variation of kind of countryside and some urban settings, predominantly within an urban setting, but you do go over the rivers as well that flow around the New York area. Not sure if the rivers we passed All the lakes we passed over earlier were the Hudson River. I've no idea, to be honest with you. But here we are, approaching New York Penn. Well, I think we'll be waiting quite a while. But we're due into New York Penn at 9:37, so we've got plenty of time on our hands. Another train is departing New York Penn on the left. Seen quite a bit of traffic of Amtrak services in this service so far. Not bad. Pleasantly surprised. Polish Kid, we're going to have to catch another stream later. Take care. Alright, Polish Kid, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you next time. E60 Guy 101. When I first heard about the Peninsula Corridor, I was jumping up and down for the excitement. It's one of my favourite routes. Cannot wait for it to get fixed. Yeah, I very, very keen to see how the upgrades and fixes are coming along with Peninsula Corridor. I think it was meant to release before Christmas, but obviously it's taking much, much longer than I'm sure any of us, and even Dovetail maybe predicted. But hey, that's the way it goes. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until we can see the upgrades on Peninsula Corridor. I mean, they've released the updates to some routes pretty quickly. Curl to Aachen. What else? Tees Valley, East Coast Way. What else have they done? Rapid Transit, which is getting another update on top of that. Long Island. So, and West Somerset Railway, of course. So, yeah, quite a few routes have been, had the preservation crew polish, but of course more is to come. My favourite, of course, is Northern Transpennine, and I desperately hope that comes soon. I'd rather, knowing me, of course, I want it to be the first in the list of routes that would be released as far as preservation updates go, but hey, that's just me. Is this the only, let me just check, are we the only service in here? Yep, we are the only service in here. Okie doke. Right, I think I best have a cup of tea, Have a nice cup of tea. Gotta love a cup of tea. Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. It would be nice if Dovetail Games added the Eurostar on the Southeastern High Speed. I think it would be interesting to see if Dovetail, firstly, could Dovetail even acquire the license of Eurostar. They're an incredibly strict company when it comes to licensing, hence why there has not been any Eurostar routes in Train Sim World or Train Simulator's history. I mean, Train Simulator has been out for well over a decade, and the Eurostar license has remained elusive for Dovetail Games. Whether Train Sim World could attract their attention, like brands like BNSF have, for example, I don't know. I'd like to think so, but then you have to ask yourself, well, what route could you make for the Eurostar? Because as much as I would like to see a route that goes from London to Paris, it would just be way too much of a job. Like, it's well over 100 300 miles. Plus, creating a tunnel that is, what was it, more than 10 miles long. I don't know the exact figure. And then creating a service package, and then you've got to think about how long it would take to do a route, a complete run of the route, which would certainly be a bit boring, let's be honest. Yeah. Personally, I don't think Eurostar will come to the game. I just can't see it. I mean, Train Simulator has gotten better and better as the decade has progressed, but it still hasn't attracted the attention of Eurostar. So, and you can even argue as well, you can put in a similar category the Japanese railway company that is, of course, ownership of or runs the Shinkansen network. Now, even though we've had a Shinkansen recently been added to Train Simulator, it's not through the actual Dovetail games themselves, it's through a third-party manufacturer. Out of those two brands, which one would I like to see in Train Sim World, and what has the best chance? There's no denying that Japanese or Japan's railway company, be that the east or the west or the north or the south, they have a great chance of not 100% chance of coming to the game, but it's got a small chance compared to Eurostar, which is practically nil. So, and it's more easy-ish for the Tokaido Shinkansen in particular, which is Japan's busiest and most, I suppose, well-known route. It was the first high-speed railway line in the world when it was opened in 1964. So I think it would make sense if we have that in the game more than Eurostar, and I personally like to see the Tokaido Shinkansen, or the Tokaido Shinkansen I should say, in Train Sim World or Train Simulator than the Eurostar. Right, let's go. The next and final stop is New Rochelle. Oh, lovely. Thierry, it's the license. Indeed it is. There are a few routes in Japan and Train Simulator. There is, actually. I can't think of the actual names, but there's one, I think, something called The Story of Forest Rail or something. That's almost like a little quaint tram-like route in the middle of the countryside. There's another one as well, I think, on the almost like a metro one in the outskirts of Tokyo, I think, or something like that. But yeah, there's no denying that Japanese routes have a greater chance than the route with the Eurostar branding appearing in Train Sim World. It'd be great from a marketing perspective as well in Japan, because it opens the door for more fans, particularly from Japan, to get on board and play the game. See what Train Sim World has to offer. Oh, lovely. Got a yellow signal up ahead. Suppose we got a train sharing the same track as us, which means we have to wait. We'll wait and see. There's another yellow. Should be okay. I would have thought so. Another yellow. We're going to bump into a red at some point. Nope, another yellow. I bet you the next one is going to be a red. Is it a red? Nope, it's not. Let's increase the power. Thought I'd just drift for a minute, see if I can create a bit of a gap between us and presumably the train in front. There we go, we got a green now. So that did the job. Lovely. I'll say all the usual YouTube shenanigans. If you'd enjoyed this stream, make sure of course to give it a like, and if you are new and watching the stream for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel, as I do Train Sim World content and streams on a regular basis. I would really appreciate that. And of course this stream will be re-uploaded to the channel with the live chat replay enabled in its own dedicated streams playlist. Now we're just passing a Sunnyside yard. Imagine the shunter's busy, or the switcher since I'm in America. Where's my switcher? Where is it? Unless it's taking a break. Or suddenly going to a halt. Most odd. Let's increase the power again, that's better. And there's the switches. Taking a break. Don't blame them. Lovely. Speed limit will increase to 50 miles per hour. I'm sure it will go up to 60, 90 and maybe even 100. Now in a bit of clean air. E60 going, my game crashed, I'm going on Ryan with Austin with the G6. Oh, don't blame you, that's a good one. Good choice. Liam Spurs, how is work at the petrol station? I don't know, yesterday. Managed to get this bank holiday weekend off, so very, very pleased. As far as the week is concerned, it was okay, yeah, it's just like normal. I imagine it'll be a bit busier on the bank holiday weekend, so but other than that, no, it should be fine. I had got a 4 days off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, which is nice. I usually have Sunday and Monday off, but it was nice to get Friday and Saturday off, which was Yeah, nice. We take a look at that building. We've got a big, interesting building here. A storage building. Ooh, never seen that before. What's this say? Self-storage. Very nice colours. It's nice that that building stands out from the others, which look a bit, yeah, samey. "12 miles to go until New Rochelle." And then after this service is completed, I think I'm going to do a freight service with the 38-2. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'll be doing a few runs with the trash containers. Very unique piece of freight wagon on Northeast Corridor. There's another service. Well, of course, yeah, I forgot this monument coming up. It's pretty well known on the route. The famous Hell Gate Bridge. 110 years old. Probably one of these standout features of the route. There's a road bridge as well to the left. There we are. Let me show you the map. This is where we are. That's Sunnyside Yard. That's New York Penn. It's quite a big yard here. I don't know what this is all about, but it's unused, so I'm not sure. That's the branch line going to Fresh Pond Junction. This is where the trash container stuff is all located, in this big yard here, and that yard as well, where the CSX locos do their thing. And we're going a bit too fast. Let's get down the speed. Just over 10 miles to go until New Rochelle, which you're in at 10:07. E60 Guy 101, I got to see the Queen Victoria ship today because it is at the Belfast docks. All very nice. Hope you took some lovely photographs of it. It's quite a nice ship, if I do say so myself. Tia and my sister and her boyfriend are coming around tomorrow, so we're having a barbecue. Oh, very nice. Hope the weather's nice for you tomorrow then, fingers crossed. Haven't had a barbecue yet this year, I've just remembered. I mean, the temperature is just starting to creep up a little bit in the UK. I think towards the end of the week it could be pushing close to 20 degrees Celsius, so could have a barbecue, I suppose, end of the week. I know end of the month I'm taking a trip away to see my cousin, so hopefully I could have a barbecue with him. There's the trash containers. See if I can spot an Amtrak CSX locomotive. There's a couple here, awaiting their orders. And over there somewhere is the I think it's Hunts Point Terminal or something. I may be mistaken. There's us going by. Let's increase the speed a bit more, I think. The gradients are not too bad on this route. A little bit steep, but nowhere near as steep as as some of the other routes I've driven previously. E60 Guy 101, did you know that an Amtrak Acela Express train got stuck on Hellgate's Bridge? No, I didn't know that. I wonder how did it get stuck on the bridge? There is overhead wires on the bridge, isn't there? Yes, there is. I wonder how it got stuck. Presumably bad weather or something. No idea. Liam, I booked this weekend off to be with my dad at Brands Hatch. Wow, in Kent. Fortunately, I had to drive over the Dartford crossing, which goes over the railway. Oh, very nice. I think there's isn't there like an event going on at Brands Hatch this weekend? I remember when I watched the local news. What was it? As they were covering the sports section of the programme, the news reporter was standing in the pit lane at Brands Hatch with like an Audi R8 race car in the pit box, with the pit crew are presumably just practicing pit stops and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's like an endurance race or a pretty big GT3 like weekend there at Brands Hatch this weekend. Thierry, I'm on Peninsula Corridor doing the MP15 scenario, cutting the cars. Oh yes, it's a good scenario. Just over 6 miles to go until New Rochelle. E60 Guy 101, if this route comes back to Train Sim World 2, for CSX locos it'll be the 40-2, for the layers it'll be the GP38-2, the SD40-2 and the AC4400CW. Yeah, it'll be good. I think it'll be quite good actually just to have a freight package with the CSX locos for a change. I feel like because Train Sim World 2 has been focusing on the other brands like, Norfolk Southern, Union Pacific in particular, and of course the historic Lynchfield Railroad, CSX has been left kind of to the wayside a little bit, almost like CSX has taken a back seat. Because when Train Sim World first came out, the only thing freight-wise and American routes we could play with was CSX. And as time has progressed, it's mainly been Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, presumably BNSF. So I think it'd be nice to have a route that incorporates the CSX locomotives. Or another CSX route, I think would be welcome. Just over 4.5 miles until New Rochelle. Increase the power to maximum. Thankfully, the game hasn't broken with the safety systems playing up, which is quite good. I had that problem when getting to grips with this route again prior to the stream. Making sure what I can and can't do with the ACS 64 locomotive. And of course this doesn't have the actual updated sound package compared to the Boston Sprinter one, which I've only just recently come to mind. Passing over another river. A lot of rivers on this route. Passing over, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. This could be the route that has for most rivers in Train Sim World. Certainly an interesting statistic. Now the speed limit's got up to 100 or just over 100 miles per hour. So now we can really pick up the pace. Flozilla, hey, how are you? West Cornwall or Tees Valley? What is better? If you primarily want a freight experience, then Tees Valley is the place to go, my friend. If you want passenger services, then with a bit of freight mixed in between, then I think West Cornwall. It depends, because if you get Tees Valley, there's 2 locomotive DLCs with the 31 and the 20, which add different services, different driving challenges, and different wagons. West Cornwall, you can use the Northern Transpennine and the heavy freight pack. So if I was on my money now, I'd buy Tees Valley, because Tees Valley recently got upgraded as well in terms of the visual characteristics and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd pick Tees Valley just, but I do like West Cornwall as well. E60 Guy 101, if you want to know more, watch Engines of Amtrak via Seller Express. Okay, I will, yeah. I'll give that a watch after the stream is completed. Liam, for GT3 races, we went to see GT3 races. We went to see the MotoGP legend. Oh, Valentino Rossi's there. Oh, wow. Used to watch him on the bikes, of course. What else? legend of MotoGP. "46 years old, I think he was, or something. He was in his 40s, wasn't he, when he retired? I think he was even older than Michael Schumacher when he retired from Formula One in 2012. Alright, we're approaching New Rochelle. I do miss the HUD of Train Sim World 2, particularly with the main speed cluster there on the right hand side. Train Sim World 2's one's much better in terms of, well, for starters, it's better from a visual perspective because it's a little bit bigger and it's much easier to read from a distance. And plus, Train Sim World, the version in Train Sim World 2020 is more like a racing game kind of instrument cluster than what we've got in Train Sim World 2. Right, so here we are, New Rochelle, dominated by some pretty tall apartment blocks, multi-storey car park, a few signs. There is no traffic, of course, in Northeast Corridor, New York. I think the moment that I knew that Northeast Corridor was going to be dead and buried was when 2020 upgrade came out, because at the time it updated all of the old routes with the AI traffic, for cars, and the journey mode, of course, as well. This does not have a journey mode, so the only Train Sim World route in existence that doesn't have a journey mode, which is a shame. I feel that NEC New York has been neglected, because I think is it better than Boston Sprinter? I'd say overall, yes. In terms of the variety of experiences, but as far as a, super fast section of the Northeast Corridor is concerned, no, it's not. But anyway, let's move into the second part of the stream. We're going to use the 38-2. Funny that the color scheme on the main menu is like a green color. Right. Switching. Deliver. Run a train of trash cars from Fairport Junction to a point yard. Nope. Manifest switching. Hans Point Terminal. No, I don't want that. I think that one will do, yeah. Gather for trash. Join two cuts of trash cars together for the transfer to a point junction. Nope. Stable at a point yard. Let's manifest. Switch the cars at manifest. I wanted to do one where we get the trash from the deliver the empty trash cars to Harlem River Terminal and return it. Is that the only service? I swear it was more than that. Bring these load. That's the one, yeah. We'll do this one, that 10-minute one. Sorry, just couldn't find it. Discover a new journey. It is an old journey for sure. Okay, just a single 38-2. A long train of trash. Very long train of trash. Right. Oh, everything's all turned on for me. Very nice too. Step lights, ditch lights. Lead all dead. Oh, very nice. The game's done it for me. Thank you, game. Turned on the lights and everything for me. Just gonna check. I imagine I don't need the warning device on, but I'll just turn it on for the sake of it. Alright, let's go. Let's bring this trash train to Oak Point Yard. Increase the power to maximum. Quite a long cut of trash cars. I think 20 odd maybe. Quite a bit. Nowhere near as long as the nearly 2-mile long freight trains in Sandpatch or Sherman Hill or Horseshoe Curve, but it's long enough. If I look at the rear rather than sitting in the driver's seat. There's an Amtrak train coming by. The trash trains here on the route is actually quite well known in New York City. Not from everyone in New York City, but from railroading fans that live in New York. Very well known as to where the trash comes from and goes to. Now, since it's near the Harlem River, I'm guessing that the procedure works that they're put into the trash cars from the barges, all the boats that come along the quayside at Harlem River Terminal, put into the trash containers and then taken to Fresh Pond Junction or wherever that piece of track goes in New York. Now we've got to go up, up and up. And whilst we're going up and up and up, we need to take a look at the switches. I remember switching in Oak Point Yard was just a nightmare for me, because I always used to get the switches wrong. So many switches. Let me press the... Is there like... oh, isn't there? I was just going to look, see how long our consist is, but of course it's not displayed in the pause menu. I keep forgetting this is 2020, not Train Sim World 2. Is it me or the 38-2's sound package on Northeast Corridor New York sounds a bit different than what I've normally experienced? I don't know, it must be me. It sounds a bit different though. I imagine it's near 20 or something like that. Liam was 42 or 43, I think. Ah, right, I see. E60 going to 1, the livery this GP38-2 has is not in Train Sim World 2, because the Northeast Corridor New York is in YN3 livery, and on TSW2 it's YN3B and YN2. I had a feeling that deep down the livery was a little bit different. It's quite interesting, that. Into the yard do I go. There's another cut of trash cars already sitting in the yard. I know the switches are done correctly. Yep, they are. Very good. Let's increase the power a little bit. Increase the speed a little bit, I should say. Got not one but two cuts of trash cars here awaiting departure. They're quite unique looking, aren't they? I'm surprised they didn't use Skyhook Games didn't use these trash cars in Cane Creek. Would have represented the contaminated wagons very well, I think. Much better than the Peninsula Corridor wagons they used to represent the contaminated materials. Okay, here we are. The correct stopping point. And there we are. Took me just over 10 minutes. Nicely done. And now we go back to the main menu. We're not quite finished yet. We now need to run the trash cars to Oak Point Yard. Right. Timetable. The 38-2. And the trash train to Oak Point Yard. Run a train of trash cars up from Fresh Pond Junction to Oak Point Yard. Lovely. Oh, there's no one transparent on. If I keep seeing that in much longer, I will be going on it straight away. Liam, did you know that the word train, comes from a French verb which means to draw or drag, and ghost trains run on the British train network often? Never knew that. Alright, so here we are at Fresh Pond Junction. There's the Fresh Pond Yard switcher down there. This time we got a pair of 38-2s to conduct this service. Step lights, ditch lights, not dynamic brakes, gauge lights. I like the fact that it's pretty much mostly set up for me, so you'd have to spend a lot of time dawdling around with the preparations. Right, let's just check the switches. I'll go all the way to the end. Just check the switches there. Should be okay. Or not. That one goes there. That one goes there. That one is fine. That one is fine. That one is not. And that should be that, as far as I'm concerned. Right, let's go. I'm going to count how many trash cars there are this time. I'm guessing it's 20. I think it's 25. altogether or something like that. Maybe 30. Oak Point Yard is exactly 7 miles away. I suppose you could call this the quaint part of Northeast Corridor, New York. A bit more surrounding scenery-ish than, well, natural scenery than just constant houses and buildings and roads and all this kind of stuff. Liam, the longest direct train route is found in Moscow. Is it really? I presume it runs across Russia or from Moscow to, I don't know, some part of Western Europe, maybe. Like to Spain or something like that. I don't think I don't think that direct route, the longest direct train route in Moscow, I'm sure is not being used very much, if at all. It must be very difficult living in Russia right now. You know, the amount of things that have been taken away from the people that live there, it must be unbearable. You know, in terms of the things that they can access, and, you know, be that banks and money or brands from other countries, it bears thinking of, really. Not saying I have sympathy for Russia, but I think the people that live in Russia, I have a little bit of sympathy for. Particularly those who oppose their leader. But yeah, the Ukraine war still goes on. I can't believe it. It's entering its, what is it now? Its 3rd month or 2nd month. It's crazy. Let's increase the speed. Because the speed limit has increased to 25 miles per hour. One route that actually interested me in particular when I was looking on Train Simulator's Steam page this afternoon was a route in New Zealand that really has caught my eye. I remember I watched a video, I think it was like nearly 2 or 3 hours long yesterday, of a route in New Zealand. I forgot what it's called, but it really was fascinating. Not only that, I think the New Zealand route comes with a couple of packs. You've got one of different diesels, and one that was released fairly recently was actually a steam locomotive, which fascinated me. I actually just I downloaded both or all 3 of the manuals of the 2 additional packs and the route itself, just to look up the history of it and see what you got to play with. And I must say, I'm getting very tempted to start saving up for a PC and get Train Simulator. The only thing that's holding me back, of course, is the space for it. But I've recently ordered a new piece of furniture for my room that will hopefully get rid of a couple of big things that are clogging up a corner of my bedroom. So hopefully once that is up and well, I've got the new piece of furniture. I just got to put it together. I think I'll put it together next weekend. Wants to see how that affects the space. If I have, well, I should have a bit more space to play with once it's up, then I may think about it, but it's hard because PC wise and and train simulator wise, there's just so much to do. Like, a PC is hard because I don't know much about the PCs, like what is the best, for train simulator, the processing power, or do I have to go and build one myself, and how would I do that? And then if I do get a PC, what train simulator stuff can I buy and purchase and download? And then there's the mods, and it's not only a huge investment, but it's also a big step into the unknown for me, because I haven't purchased like a proper big PC or built one before, or played I've played Train Simulator in the past, but knowing what to pick up and how to get mods and things working on it and all that kind of stuff, it's quite hard for me, at least. So but I'll have a little think, see if it's not only feasible but doable as well, space wise. But just looking at the Train Simulator stuff more and more, it just makes me feel the need to pick it up. Because recently, I think Train Simulator Classic recently released, which is quite reasonably well priced. I think it comes with, 3 routes as standard, or maybe a 4th if I'm not mistaken. 2 in England, 1 in the US, and 1 in Germany. So it's tempting. I really do want to purchase Train Simulator, but it's finding the money and space to get a big PC first. Ideally, the PC I would have got straight away would have been a big Mac, a big iMac. But the problem is you can't play Train Simulator on the Apple products, regardless if it's a MacBook Air or the big iMac or the MacBook Pro. So that is my main problem. If Train Simulator worked on those platforms or those products, I would have picked one up in a heartbeat. But because it's on anything other than an Apple product, I'm more in the dark of what do I purchase PC wise, because I've always been the Apple product person. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a long way to go. Exploring all the UK stations. Hey Spurs. Hey, how are you? Hope you're well. Welcome. Just taking a trip back in time on Northeast Corridor, New York, on Train Sim World 2020. Ben Davis. Hey, how are you? I think this one is one of the best USA routes for Train Sim World 2. Peninsula Corridor to San Francisco to San Jose is my opinion, and I would love to see this in Train Sim World 2. Yeah, I mean, I think Peninsula Corridor is pretty good. It's a great passenger experience. It's quite a long route, I think close to 50 miles, so it's one of the more longer Train Sim World routes. You've got quite a bit of variety to drive as well. You've got the F40 PH2 cat, you've got the Baby Bullet MP36 PH3C, which is certainly one of my favourite passenger US locomotives. You got the two different cab cars. You got the Switcher, the Union Pacific 38-2. So there is quite a lot of things to do on that. I think it's got to be up there, probably one of the best complete packages you could have of a train sim world route. You know, yes, it's predominantly passenger, but you've got, you know, high-speed services or fast-ish services, all-stop services, semi-fast ones, freight services, shunting. It's a very good mix of services to do. And it's getting hard for me to almost decide, like, what is my favourite Train Sim World USA route? What is my favourite? Certainly Northeast Corridor New York, I think, will be up there. But, you know, with the more recent ones being released, like Sherman Hill, Clinchfield, Cane Creek, the New York Harlem Line, the Northeast Corridor Boston Sprinter, Horseshoe Curve, it's getting more and more difficult to decide, because I kind of like all of them really, but it's hard to pinpoint a favourite. Oh, we got an Amtrak passenger train coming by. Bit of a race going on here. For Germany, it's pretty straightforward. Route-wise, for me, it would have to be Karl Aachen is up there. Werke Dresden, I think, is my absolute favourite, with the extension of Toronto Ramp included. I'll give Rapid Transit a shout as well. Rapid Transit is good. UK wise, it's pretty easy for me. TransPennine is my favourite. I put Southeastern High Speed in second, with a Tees Valley in third place, and I'll give West Cornwall a shout as well. That's, as I played through West Cornwall, I've appreciated it more. So yeah, that would be my top four. Brighton Main Line, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's just not my absolute favourite, to be fair. Like the Electro Stars and all that kind of thing, it's not the kind of driving experience I like. Dare I say this, but I don't know, I just find Brighton Main Line and East Coast Way just a little bit dull for me. I'm not sure, like. And plus, coupled with the fact that the Brighton Main Line is as wobbly as me making a cake in the kitchen. But yeah, so Brighton for me is not very interesting for me. East Coast Way I think is better than Brighton Main Line, no question. Certainly for me, the Brighton Main Line is my least favourite if it comes to the free rush hour packages, for sure. Of course, that's just my view. If we even suggest UK wise, the Spirit of Steam, Liverpool Lime Street to Crewe, then if it is good, then no doubt that'll be in my top 5. But since I haven't seen or heard if anything, of that route since it was first announced. But it's difficult for me to judge. There hasn't been much Train Sim World news, has there, for the past month, really, since Horseshoe Curve has come out. It's all gone very quiet. Not much has happened, if anything. We should be getting the roadmap at the start of, I presume, next week, as it's the start of May now. Today is indeed the 1st of May, so hopefully when the roadmap is launched this week or maybe next week, hopefully we'll see how things are coming along. I think other things that are to come soonish is the 420 for Germany. Of course, got the Spirit of Steam one, and then there's this mysterious new German route. Should be interesting what that is. Here we are coming into Oak Point Yard. I mean, if I was to look at Train Simulator now, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like routes I would like to see in Train Sim World. There's so many. It's so many. It would be, I would need a list as long as your arm of what I'd like to see in the game. If it was the US, blimey, I think the other section of Northeast Corridor, the one that goes from Boston to not Boston, what is it, Washington DC one, that one, I think that one would be quite good. Obviously I'm going to mention a few freight routes. Ones that have BNSF would be good. There was a couple of old school USA routes I quite like. What were they? I can't think what they were, but they were very good. They attracted my attention. I'll have to look it up, I think. USA. Let's have a look. Soldiers Summit. That's a good one. That's like a 1950s or 60s kind of route. It also has the Salt Lake City extension. Just trying to think what else was there that I liked the look of. The Granger Hardlands in why are we going backwards? Need to go forwards. Yeah, that's a good one in Kansas. The Norfolk Southern End line I think will be a good one, because it really is a different one. It's almost like it's kind of like, I suppose it's like what's that route? Canadian National Oakville Subdivision. It's predominantly a freight route, but it's very in a compact environment, more of a branch line kind of. Areas are close together, rather than a big long 50, 60, 70 mile route. The Hudson Line, that's another one, which goes from New York to Croton Harmon. Obviously the New Jersey coast route has to be in there. That I like the look of, definitely. The Feather River Canyon, that's another historic freight route in California. The Miami to West Palm Beach one is another one as well. I mean, obviously, yeah, Miami. Yeah, they would be my USA routes of choice, but Yeah, it's a good mix, isn't it? Predominantly freight, but it's a mixture of passenger as well from different eras. So yeah, that's my USA routes. Rest of the world, I'm not going to bother because I've run out of time, and so too for Germany. But yeah, there's loads of them. Maybe I'll think of making a little mini series of routes I'd like to see in the game. Who knows? But yeah, there we are. That concludes this stream. A look back in time on the Northeast Corridor New York route. Of course, if you'd enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, and please subscribe if you are new to the channel for more Train Sim World streams and content. The next stream will take place tomorrow on May the 2nd, 8:30 p.m.-ish UK time roughly. I'll still be on the Northeast Corridor New York, but I'll be conducting switching services in Sunnyside Yard with the Amtrak SW1000R shunter, one of my favourite shunters in Train Sim World, so certainly looking forward to doing some switching with that. I hope you are looking forward to it as well. But I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.